I'm going swimming. Not in a pool, not in the ocean, but believe it or not, in the Charles River. Now, normally jumping in Boston's beloved dirty water is a huge no-no. In fact, today is one of just 2 or 3 times a year when it's allowed.
Around the 50s and 60s, we realized the damage that industrialization and pollution had been doing to the river, and that it really wasn't safe for folks to be in contact with the water.
Clearly, that's not always the case now, though some days it is. So, how did we get here? The Charles, so dubbed by the English after the King of England Charles, nope, not that one, there you go, provided hydropower for textile mills and factories during the industrial era. But it was also a popular place for recreation, from regattas to swimming. By the mid-20th century, the most popular swimming spot was just up the river, an area still known today as Magazine Beach.
You know, there was a diving board, there were water Olympics. For 10 cents, you could get a bathing suit, a towel, and a locker. The population in Cambridge grew dramatically between the 1850s and 1910. Many of them new immigrants working in our factories. And it was a time before air conditioning, and people needed a place to cool off in the summer on hot days. This was the place to be.
Until 1949, when the state closed all the swimming beaches along the river. Well, some people continued swimming, but for the most part, it was over.
What really happened was that there were combined sewer overflows in the river. The same pipe underwater that was carrying your sewage was also carrying rainwater. And so when you had a big rain event, it washed all the sewage into the river. That was kind of the main problem.
In the 1970s, Congress passed the Clean Water Act, which kick-started the process of cleaning up the Charles.
That, in combination with the Charles River Initiative in the 90s, helped to provide funding to separate those systems so that your sewage was kind of in one pipe and your stormwater was in another, which made the contamination to the river much, much less.
Though there are still some CSOs that discharge into the Charles, the volume has been reduced 98% since 1988. And with climate change comes new challenges.
One is that we're seeing hotter summers, right?
Cyanobacteria.
Exactly. So when the water heats up, it creates conditions for cyanobacteria or algae to really thrive and bloom. And that algae can be harmful to humans and pets. The other challenge that we're seeing is more intense storms. That really kind of hard rainfall you get from storms washes more pollutants into the river. So when we're planning an event like City Splash where folks can jump in the river, the regulation is that if we get more than ½ an inch of rain within 48 hours of that event, we have to postpone it or cancel it.
And then there's the always problematic bottom line.
The junk at the bottom, I've heard it referred to sometimes as like black mayonnaise, to give you a sense of like what to expect. So
I have not heard that, and just give me a minute because now I'm disgusted. Just gonna take a second here.
The overall kind of research and testing has been limited of that because there are believed to be heavy metals kind of trapped in the sediment. So there's a concern that if you go and start kind of digging it up, that's going to mix it back into the water column, and that's actually potentially more dangerous, more hazardous than kind of leaving it alone.
Since the mid-1990s, the EPA has graded the Charles River water quality each year. In recent years, most sections have earned B+ and A's, but there are still a few lingering trouble spots, most notably a tributary known as the Muddy River.
Now, it is muddy. It is not blue, it is brown, even at the best of times. That's natural. But what has happened is that people have not respected this river as the gem that it really is. The Muddy River has been treated more or less as a sewage ditch and a garbage conduit for the last 20, 30 years by the people of Boston.
Is the Charles River safe to swim in?
The answer is largely yes. It's far cleaner than it was many decades ago.
And even though most days, in most places, the water is environmentally safe for swimming, we still lack the infrastructure, the designated spaces, access points, even lifeguards. And so it is not allowed. Still, the hope is that in the not-too-distant future, swimming in the Charles won't just be a once-a-year affair, but as regular a part of a Boston summer as lobster roll and an evening at Fenway.
There is hope. There is always hope. We need to save our blue spaces.
And I forgot to take my shoes off.
When we clean the river, it cleans the river for everybody.
Well, there you have it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Our thanks to Emerson College for always keeping us curious. If you want more from the Curiosity Desk, check out this recent episode. In the meantime, I'm Edgar B. Herwick III. Stay curious out. Stay curious out there.